The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
Welcome to another segment of UCW Radio, and this is your host, Lou, a.k.a. Falcon Copares, and I want to thank all of our listeners again for tuning in and listening to the UCW Radio Show and connecting with our guests. We have some fantastic guests on the show, and I just want to thank you for that. And also, I need to let the sponsors know that the UCW Radio Show has opened its doors for sponsorship opportunities, sponsorship partnerships. So if you are a marketer and you're looking to align with the UCW Radio Show, just go to UCW Magazine and find out how you can do it. In just a little while, we're going to have a young woman that has taken the mixed martial arts world by storm, but not in the way you think. It's not in the cage itself. She is a leader of the Extreme Team Girls of Cage Fighting Extreme. She's also a 5-time fitness competition champion and an aspiring rider. So the notion that women in mixed martial arts that are not actually fighting in the cage or ditzy ring girls is thrown out the window with her. Now, before we bring her on the line, I have to give you some information. Listeners can actually call in with your questions or comments. We want to hear from you. So give us a jingle. The number is 323-952-4369. Give us a call and just pose your questions or comments. You'll know who the guest will be on a particular day. Just go to ucwmagazine.com and all the information is there. Also, if you are on Twitter, then you can shoot me out some questions, comments, things of that nature too. You can tweet me. And if they're interesting enough, then we'll read them off to our guest. So make them interesting and make them frequent. My Twitter name is Luis Velazquez. That's LOUISVELAZQUEZ. Follow me and tweet away. Now, without further ado, let's patch in the leader of the Cage Fighting Extreme Team Girls. Here is Linda Rose. Linda, it's great to have you on the show with us on the UCW Radio Show. Thanks for being with us this evening.
Well, hi, Lou. Thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited about it.
Look, you're so chipper. I love that. Oh, man. I like that because it puts me in a good mood, and that's always a good thing. We appreciate the time our guests put aside for us, same as you. You're busy. You have a lot of things going on. You have a big event going on Saturday. And,
absolutely.
Yeah, for a lot of people that don't know who Linda Rose is, she is the Extreme Team Girls leader for Cage Fighting Extreme. You are a former fitness competitor. You're a 5-time champion in that arena, earning your pro car.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, and you earned your pro car status in 2005. And the one thing that scares me, and it got me a little on the nervous side when I spoke to you the other day, is that now you're learning Muay Thai, and stay to that end of the arena, please. I don't need you causing any damage to me.
Well, I'm not lethal yet, Lou, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there with I'm learning.
Okay. So there's so much more to you than meets the eye. People see you in the arena. They see you walking around. You're in shape. You look good. They're like, wow, hot girl. But there's more to you than they see. And,
that's very true.
Yeah, and that's a big plus for Cage Fighting Extreme. Linda Shields, she's I call her the matriarch of mixed martial arts. She's putting a new spin on things, and you're a part of that whole deal. But what I like to do is talk about you for a little while before we get into that. And I think we should start at the beginning.
Okay.
Can you tell us about your fitness competition days? I mean, first, how did you get into fitness and competing? Well, how did you get into fitness first, and then how did you get into your competing? Then we'll roll that way.
Well, it's a pretty interesting story. You know, I had always been very much into athletics and performing and dancing when I was younger. I took dance lessons my entire life. And, life goes on. I went to college. I got a job. I was working. I wasn't really doing anything fitness related, but it had always been kind of a passion of mine that was sort of dormant. And suddenly I got an opportunity to go see a bodybuilding show. A friend of mine was competing.
Okay.
And at that time, I had never been to a bodybuilding show, but I was, of course, interested in it. And I was like, you know what? I want to go see what this is about. So I went, and the first thing that happened was this amazing fitness competitor. She came on stage, and she started doing her routine to this great music and the lights. She was jumping around, doing these strength moves. And all I remember was sitting there watching her thinking, I need to know what she's doing because I want to do that. And I was telling the people that I was with who were sitting around me, I said, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to get up on stage. I don't know what that is yet, but I'm going to find out and I'm going to do it. And they kind of looked at me. They're like, yeah, okay, Linda. I'm like, no, I'm serious. So I kind of, I researched it a little bit, and I found out that one of the best coaches in the country is actually here in Massachusetts where I live. Her name is Kathy Savage, and I met up with her. I started practicing, and I started competing, and that was in '04, and by '05, I was competing a lot, and that's when I got my pro card.
Okay, so how many competitions were you involved with or in?
Well, a lot. I think between '04 and '05, I competed, I don't know, somewhere between 16 and 18 times. So
wow!
Yeah, it was crazy. And I wouldn't recommend it. It's a lot because I'll tell you, it takes a toll on your body to compete that much because of the constant dieting and the constant training. But I was so passionate about it. I loved it so much. And I'll tell you, it felt so good, when I finally got on that stage after seeing it, finding out what it was, and going after my goal and getting there. It was an amazing feeling. And I didn't even have to win. I just needed to be there and do it to be happy. But then I started finding my success.
Okay.
And in '05, I won every local show that I entered. Mm-hmm. So I won all of my local shows, and then I went on to compete nationally with the same organization. Mm-hmm. And when I did that, I earned my pro card. I won the amateur division, and that same night they said, okay, you won your amateur division, you're now a pro, you get to compete with the pros.
Oh, cool.
And I did that, and I actually came in just shy of the top 5 that evening.
Oh,
so
wow.
I did pretty good.
No, that is great. And then, what did you shelf competing at this point?
Well, I have a ton of other interests, and I was so successful in that I kind of put it aside for a while, but it's something that I fully intend on getting back into at some point. Right now, I'm doing the CFX thing, and I have a lot of other projects that are going on, so I haven't really been able to focus on it as much as I would like. Okay. But it's always kind of there in the back of my mind, so at any moment, I could be coming out of retirement. So,
yeah, and you started doing this 16 show, but you wouldn't recommend someone that's just getting involved in fitness competitions, competing 10, 16, 15, whatever it is, times a year, would you?
No, not really. I mean, that's pretty excessive. Like I said, I was really passionate about it. It was something that, I was kind of a one-track mind, but, I would recommend doing a few, taking a break, and kind of learning from that, because every show is a learning experience, especially your first few. And then taking what you've learned and putting that into your next show. What can I do better? What can I improve upon? What worked? What didn't? And take a break, because you know what? You can't train and diet like that 12 months out of the year. It's way too much.
No, you'll burn out.
You have to be able to enjoy life too.
Oh yeah, you'll burn out. There's no way your body can sustain that type of dieting that you do for a show. Whether you're a fitness competitor, a bodybuilder, and anything, if you're dieting that strictly, your body can only sustain it for a little while, and after a while you burn out, and that can't happen. But
exactly.
you're just a crazy person, so it worked out for you.
Yeah, exactly. Somehow it works.
Well, Linda, you're a professional, and for your benefit, we're not going to get into what you do outside the cage. But look, you're a smart girl. I know it. You know it. Everyone out there that knows you knows it. And you're not one of those ditzy type of ring girls you see walking around with the round 2, and then they're tripping on their shoes type of thing, but they're just shaking their butt, and they're showing their breastises, and that's what they're doing. You're not doing that. That's not what Cage Fighting Extreme is about. That which is a big plus. But how did you get involved in the sport in the first place? That's what I want to know.
Well, again, it was a time in my life when, I had put a lot of the fitness stuff aside, and I was working in my day job, which I still do. I work as a professional. I don a business suit every day and go to work. And I got an email from an old friend, and she said, you know what, there's this audition happening near you. I think you would be perfect for it. You should just go do it. And it was for CFX. And in the back of my mind, I was like, you know, I'm not really sure if it's for me, but I know that at some point I want to come out of retirement for fitness. And this would be a good avenue for me to put myself out there in a similar type of environment where I'm there and I'm walking, I'm posing, I'm smiling in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it'll be good for my confidence. This could be maybe a segue into me getting back into the fitness shows. But never once did I really expect that CFX or Lucas Shields was going to say, hey, we want that girl. So I just went to the audition, and there were, you know, beautiful girls, long-legged, gorgeous women there, and I'm looking around going, okay, you know, I'm just going to go out there and do my thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm only 4'9". I don't know if you know that, Lou. I'm not your typical long leg.
I heard rumors about that, but I didn't want to bring it up.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm a little girl, and, you know, there are these, like, typical, you know, what you would say is called American beauties standing there with me, and you know, I'm pretty confident in what I do and myself, though. So I just went out there in the audition, and I just gave it my all. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to play the role. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to play the role. And they liked it. They picked me. So I was like, okay. So that's how I got involved with them and with the sport. And I'm so glad that I did, because I absolutely love it. It is so much fun. And I think because of my history with fitness and athletics, I really got into what the fighters are doing, and I'm so fascinated by them, because they are drawing upon so many different disciplines just to get in that cage. They have to know jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, everything, and it's so crazy to me that they're utilizing so many art forms in order to actually fight in the cage.
Right. Well, you're not going to get in that cage and do that stuff.
Well, not interested.
Yeah, let's not even get into that, because I can only handle so much during one interview. Thank you very much. Okay.
That's a whole other story. I do train with the fighters, believe it or not. I'm trying to learn what they're learning.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I said, see, with your height and everything, yeah, you worry me, because, you know, one wrong move and somebody's toast, and it's not going to be me. Let it be the next guy. But Linda,
come on, Lou.
Yeah. Let me ask you, because I think our listeners are interested in knowing this. You know, as I said, you're not one of those ditzy type of ring girls walking around with the card. You know, you do a lot more than that during an event. Why don't you tell us what you do? Because I want our listeners to really understand what it is that you do, that it's not what they see when they go to, and I'm going to say it, it's not what they see when they go to a UFC event or something like that. You're not just sitting there as a model walking around. There's more to it. So tell me what you do.
Okay. Well, you know, all of us girls, we're very much involved in the process. When there are promotions outside before the fights, we're there, we're working the promotions. We've gone, you know, with Linda and her crew, and we've handed out flyers, we've talked to people about the show and really tried to educate them, not only about the show, but of MMA in general, because a lot of people, you know, still think of it as just people getting in the cage and beating on each other. They don't really understand it. So we really have to know the sport in order to represent the sport. And also, you know, tomorrow, for instance, is our weigh-in event. I'll actually be at the weigh-ins, but I'm going to be working. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be prepping the fighters. I'm going to be talking to them. I'm going to get them ready for their interviews. I'm going to make sure that the evening flows right. When they check in, they got to get up. They got to do their face-off. So I'm going to be working that. So we're very hands-on. We're working as well as doing the cards. And, you know, even when we're doing the cards, it's of course we're out there and people are looking at us. That's definitely part of it. Mm-hmm. But, you know, the way that I look at it is, you know, for me, because I'm so excited about the fight, and I've done 5 shows with CFX now, so I'm starting to get to know the crowd a little bit. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's kind of like I'm seeing a whole bunch of old friends that I haven't seen in a while, and they're there for the fights. I'm there, and I'm up there just being like, hey guys, you know, here I am again, and let's enjoy the fights together. So it's kind of fun, and I make it personal, and I never take it too seriously. And I think that's why people respond to it so well, because I'm just up there and I'm having a great time.
Yeah, but
and that's it, you know.
But that's excellent, because when you're at the event, let's say you're doing the weigh-in tomorrow. You're at there, the fighters are weighing in, you may be bringing them in, say, okay, what can I do for you, this and that, and you're actually helping them. Give me a jacket, whatever it is. You're doing whatever you need to do for the organization. You're not just another pretty face, just hired to model around. And to me, that is something, and I commend Linda Shields for doing that, because having all the components of the organization working as a unit and everybody doing what they need to do is only going to help the organization to get better and better and better. And
I totally agree. You know, the environment that Linda really has facilitated is like it's like a family environment. We're a team. We work together. Mm-hmm. You know, I've talked to fighters, I've talked to Linda, I've talked to the staff, and we're all brainstorming about different ideas that we can utilize for the next show, or what can we do differently. You know, and Linda's really great about getting feedback, giving us feedback, and we work as a team. We're all in it together. So yeah, I mean, we definitely have different roles. The fighters fight. You know, the Extreme Team girls were up there with the cards, but you know, we're involved in the process.
Yeah, and everybody they do their part to make the show something special for the fans when they come in. Even though when the fighters are in there, it's the real deal. It's not like it's a fixed event. They're out there and they're doing their thing, and they're fighting with their heart, because it's not about the dollars and cents. It's for them. They're fighting for the glory of the battle.
Absolutely. They certainly are. Yeah. And, you know, I relate to that too. You know, within the fitness industry, when I was competing, it was all about the passion. It was all about the heart. You know, you do it because you love it, because you want to do it. You know, and I see that, and I watch these guys when they train, you know, because I'm in that same school. I'm watching them, and you can see it in their eyes, and you can hear it when you talk to them, how excited and passionate they are about it. Yeah. You know, and that's really exciting.
Well, that's awesome. You know what's funny is that, you know, you were in the fitness industry doing that, and a lot of people don't understand, when you're an amateur and you're competing in bodybuilding, fitness, MMA, things of that nature, you're not really getting paid, okay? And
exactly.
It becomes a labor of love. You know, a friend of mine, he's producing a major show, and you might find this interesting. I just want to throw this in because I find it kind of fits in here. But he's going to have the first bodybuilding reality show called The Ultimate Body, and that's going to be on television and everything. And for the first time that I know of, an amateur has the ability of winning, you know, the whole event, and they get $50,000. Not a bad deal.
That's great.
Yeah, not a bad deal. So you know, he's basically going out there promoting, you know, pushing bodybuilding to another level. Same way, you know, with Cage FX, you guys are pushing, you know, the independent mixed martial arts part of it to another level. But I think that, you know, Cage FX, CFX is not going to be independent for a long period of time. And with the matriarch, and I'm not going to call her Linda anymore. I refuse to. That's it. She's the matriarch.
Linda Shields is an amazing, amazing woman. Just watching her work and learning from her and how she does this, it's just fascinating to me. You know, the way that, you know, and I'm cutting you off, and I'm sorry, Lou, but just the way that.
That's okay. You can do that, because I'm not going to fight you.
That's right, and I know Muay Thai, so you should let me.
Ooh, yeah.
But anyway, so I had to throw that in there a little bit.
That's okay. You can go with it.
But the way that the organization has grown in just a short amount of time, you know, from December till now, it's just blown up, you know, and a lot of it is because of Linda and how she does this, and it's really exciting. It's really exciting to have seen that happen and to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing when you can see something go from being born to actually, you know, crawling and walking and so on and so forth. You know, you guys packed about 7,500 people into an arena, and you guys were still young. You're still young now in the industry.
I know.
But it
was unbelievable. The crowd was the biggest we've had in New England.
Yeah, and that's huge.
You know?
That's
and
huge.
We're one of the youngest organizations out there.
Yeah, and, you know, and I'm going to say this just for the records for anyone that's listening to the show, that, you know, with Cage FX, CFX doing what they're doing, I know, just like anything else, success breeds jealousy out there, and you will have a lot of people, trying to knock the organization down, but I'm saying, and I have nothing to do with the organization, nothing whatsoever. This is my opinion, that you guys have something great going on, and honestly, the matriarch, and the reason I keep calling her that, because I am dubbing her that. That's it. And so the matriarch is doing everything the right way, the way it should be done, the way a promotion should be done. I don't care whether it's mixed martial arts, I don't care if it's pro wrestling, I don't care what it is. Promoting is promoting. Man, woman, or child, doesn't matter. It's same standard, same premise holds true of how you have to handle it, and she has done a fantastic job in doing that. So I just wanted to say that, because I know, when you're successful, it brings a lot of people saying X, Y, Z.
Yeah, that's always the way it goes,
Mm-hmm.
And I've had several phone calls with Linda Shields, kind of going over that same thing, and I'm like, you know what? You got to take it all in stride. I mean, the thing about it is, the more successful you become, the more people want to tear you down, and it's unfortunate, but it's kind of a fact of life. It happens,
Yeah.
and I think for us, where we've sort of surpassed some of these organizations that have been in New England for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and we're doing things that they have never done, and we're trying things that they've probably never even thought of,
Yeah.
and that's kind of hard for people to take, I think.
Yeah, well,
And
it's a hard pill.
I'm not. There are other organizations in New England who are great and they're wonderful, but I think a lot of people see what CFX is doing, and now it's kind of like,
Yeah,
But I feel like, there's some negativity towards us because of that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's only another sign that shows that we're growing and we're going somewhere. Because if we weren't, that wouldn't happen. They wouldn't even talk about us. They wouldn't care.
You're 100% right about that. I'm going to throw this in there as well, and this is a great quote that I say to a lot of people that are successful, and they do get beat down with XYZ from different people, and they get a lot of comments and this and that. The long and short of it is this, okay? Do you ever see the movie American Gangster?
I have, yes.
Okay, great, fantastic quote from there. Okay, and when I forget his name. He said it to Denzel Washington. This is the quote. He said, "You can be successful and have enemies, or be unsuccessful and have a lot of friends.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want?"
That's the way it goes sometimes. That's a pretty accurate quote.
Yeah.
I think,
yeah.
In a lot of instances.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, especially in the promoting game, But she'll surpass that, and there's no doubt about it. But
I think so too. And honestly, it's not good when you hear things like that, but it's almost a little flattering. I mean, we see people doing sort of things that we've done after we do it, and
Sure.
and it's kind of like, imitation is also the best form of flattery.
Yeah, without a doubt. So let people follow you. Let people follow your lead. You guys are paving the way in the direction you should be, because UFC didn't start out from from nowhere. Okay, that was a long time in the making. They actually took all the blows when Semaphore Entertainment owned them, and then when Dana White came in and bought the organization, did all that stuff. It wasn't an easy road. Okay,
Yeah,
that's why
it never is.
I commend him. And does he have a right to be arrogant? You're damn right he does, because he built something. Okay, and he fought the fight that people were afraid to do. When you had congressmen, when you had the Senate in different states saying, "No, we can't have this this cage fighting. It's no good. It's no good," and they were doing that for years. And I remember that, so well. Now it's becoming accepted. Why? Because one man made a move and he pushed through, and now you have
Exactly.
you have affliction that popped up. Okay, great. That's money. They're getting money from, I think, the Trump's son or something, his organization, whatever it is that he's involved with that. So yeah, they have money behind it. Great, it'll be successful. You guys are a grassroots organization. You're actually building it up and making it go where it needs to go, and doing it with the right way, with the right people. And I think that's fantastic.
You, and I agree with what your theory is. I mean, the road to success is never easy. There's work along the way. It's not going to be smooth sailing. You're going to hit bumps. You're going to hit obstacles. You're going to meet people who are going to want to put obstacles in your way. Mm-hmm. And it's all about how you deal with that. How do you move beyond that? What do you do? Do you think out of the box? Do stick to your old ways? Do you ignore what they're saying? How do you deal with that? And I think we're doing pretty good.
Well,
for a young organization.
I think you guys are doing fantastic. The most important thing, and if the matriarch is going to be listening to this later, I'm sure she's going to laugh that I keep calling her that, but that's the way it is, and maybe...
I'm going to start calling her that. She's going to love it.
I think that everyone in CFX, and listen to me, call her the matriarch. Please do that. Everybody should just do that. Not Linda. Call her the matriarch. Everybody. You tell, and Lee Bean... I had him on the show yesterday, and
he's great. Isn't he great? I love Lee.
Great guy. Smart guy. Graduated from Brown. You would think that he'd be a tree hugger, but he's a fighter, and that's interesting to me. So he's competing on Saturday, and he's going for the first CFX heavyweight title.
He certainly is, and he's 5-0, so he's got a great track record.
I think he's got it in the bag, and I told him that already. He says, I'm telling you, you got it in the bag. This is a done deal, but I don't want to shake you. Okay.
You never know. I told him, I said, he's one of my favorite fighters. I think he's amazing, and he always gets him right in the first round too, which kills me. I remember one day I talked to him, and he was contemplating doing, I think, 2 fights in one night. And I said, Lee, don't you think that's a lot? He's like, my fights don't last very long. Okay, that's true. But I'll tell you, his opponent, Jason Doloff, who the last time he fought him was on April 25th. Mm-hmm. And Lee won. And Jason, I think, has kind of a fire underneath him now because he really wants this, Lou. Like, he wants to beat Lee. Lee has already beaten him, and Jason's coming off a win, so Jason's kind of high, and I think he just has that fire. I think it's going to be a good fight. Again, Lee is my favorite fighter in the world, so of course, I'm kind of partial to Lee, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jason puts up a really good fight this time. I think he really wants it, and when somebody has that fire in them that's pushing them, this person already beat him, we already beat him. So he might surprise us. We'll see.
Yeah, well, he might just do that. And the thing is, there's a lot more at stake this time around. This is not just a match, okay? You're talking about the first ever CFX title match. That's
true.
That's big stuff. True. I mean, that is, and as Lee put it, that's a trivia question. Okay, and that's interesting because to be the first champion of an organization that is growing the way you guys are growing, nothing can take that away. Nothing can take that away from you. Once he's done, that's it. He may lose it sometime down the road. But you know something? You were the first one. You can say that, but number one on your shirt, number one, I was the first. You can't do anything about it. And
I can definitely see Lee Bean wearing that number one. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, he's just lucky I retired, but that's okay. But I think he's going to do awesome on Saturday. I think so. Yeah, you have a few more great matches lined up. Why don't you go to them? Actually, you know what? Before we do that, okay, I wanna talk about you for a minute. Because we kind of drifted into CFX, and we went into that, and I didn't finish what I wanted to ask you because you have some goals. You have some goals. I do. Okay, and you want to run a marathon?
I absolutely do.
Well, let me tell you about running a marathon. Okay, it's long. All right, and you want to hear a funny story about a marathon?
Yeah, I do.
I support the Christopher Reeve Foundation, right? So I had I wanted to do something with them, anything to support them. Okay, so they had a sports thing, so I said, all right, I signed up for it. Okay, I didn't know what it was. You're going to be part of Team Reeve? I said, okay, I'll be part of Team Reeve. I'm ready to go. I don't know what I'm going to do. I figure maybe I'm going to do, I'll do whatever. You want me to powerlift? I'll do it. You want me to go and do something? I'll do it. Oh,
no idea what you were going to do.
No, I had no clue. No, until I get an email. Yeah, we accepted you as part of Team Reeve. I'm like, cool, great. I'm getting myself into shape. I'm doing cardio and everything. I'm ready to go. Yeah, you're gonna run a marathon. Yeah, that's a little bit long for me.
And how long did you have to prepare once you got this information?
Oh, it wasn't long, and unfortunately, I was going to do it, and I was really training. I said I'm going to get myself in shape to do it, and then I hurt my shoulder and I hurt my ankle.
No.
Yeah, and I said, you know what? There's no way I can do it. There's no way I can do it. You know, because if I start running, I'm going to be I'll be toast. So
that's too bad. But
yeah.
Future reference, if you're going to train for something, know what you're going to be training for.
Yeah, no joke.
Because there are a lot of different training styles out there. I actually worked as a professional trainer as well, and it depends on the sport. You got to train for the sport. Sport-specific training is where it's at.
Yeah.
Next time, kind of find out beforehand.
Yeah, I know. I got to do that. But you know what? I was doing anything to try to help them, but it was God's way of saying, "Hey, take it easy." I said, "Yeah, sure."
You're not ready for this, Lou.
Yeah, no, I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for that at all. But I maybe one day I'll do it. It's great to hear that you have that type of goal. And all joking aside, that is an accomplishment. Okay, to run a marathon.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'll be a really good feeling to complete one. It's something that I think is going to be a challenge for me, and I'm always looking for a new challenge.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go for it at some point.
Yeah, but that will be a challenge. But you know what? Hey, tell the matriarch this. Maybe at some point in time, have Team CFX run a marathon, but not the fighters. Because I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Great.
But maybe get some
I
of the.
I don't know about that. It's kind of
Yeah, but maybe get some of the fans
trainers.
involved. Yeah, well, you can get some of the fans involved, raise money for a charity. That's a good idea.
Actually, it's not a bad idea, especially raising money for the charity. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
I think and that's something that CFX does as well. We always have a charity that goes along with our events.
Ah, cool.
Great.
Oh, do you? So what? Well, to talk about that, that's interesting. Actually, no,
Yeah.
don't talk about that for a second.
Okay, fine.
One of your goals is to write a book. Now, after we talk about this, then we'll talk about that. But you want to write a book?
I do.
Okay, about what?
It's funny because every time I work on the book, it kind of changes direction. But I really wanted to write a story, an inspirational story, that sort of lets people know that, no matter what, if you're passionate about something and you think that you have the potential for it, you need to believe in yourself and you need to go for it. And it's all about taking that goal and owning it, putting it in a place in your life where you say, I can attain that, even if it seems like it's slightly unattainable. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to write this, first and foremost, with regard to my experiences with fitness. When I first looked at those competitions, I didn't think it was something that I could do. Mm-hmm. I knew I had the background of dance. I knew I was athletic. I knew I was in shape. But I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I can compete with those women. They're all tall. They're all blonder than me. They're beautiful. Am I going to fit in? And had I kept up with that mindset, I probably wouldn't have done it. Mm-hmm. But I was like, I can. And I envisioned myself doing it. I envisioned myself winning my shows, and lo and behold, 2 years later, I did it. And it's sort of a success story that I want to share with the world. And
right.
It's not really only that one instance with the fitness, though. I really think that you can relate that to life in general.
Yeah, no.
So I kind of want to write about that and inspire people. And also, in regards to in life in general, a lot of people, life is, has a lot of ups and downs. You can be on top of the world one day, and you can find yourself down that hill another day. And it's in those times when you're down that you really have to believe that you can pull through and get out of that and achieve something great. And without going into too much detail, I've definitely had those ups and downs in my life. Mm-hmm. And, I want people to kind of know my story, and I don't want to share it because I don't want to give it away too much, but, right. It's something that's personal to me, that I feel like I've come out of kind of a pretty difficult place, and I've come out pretty successful, and I'm happy about that, and I'm nowhere near done, and that's why I have all these goals of things that I'd like to do.
That's good. I like hearing that stuff, because that stuff is inspirational, and our listeners, just listen to. I love these type of stories, because our listeners, they need this. They listen to the show. They hear these inspirational stories that we have, whether it be a Mr. Universe, whether it be someone that, Mr. Universe, we had Doug Burns, a diabetic, type 1 diabetic. We had him on the show. since 7 years old, they made it seem like he wouldn't be able to do anything. He became a Mr. Universe.
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing. He went from
and I think it's because of the way, probably a lot of it had to do with he believed that he could.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of people will take something like that, a diagnosis like that, and be like, I can't, and they almost use it as a crutch. You know, like I can't because I have this, or I can't because of this.
Mm-hmm.
He looked at it like, no, I can.
Yeah.
You know, he went for it. You know, it's amazing what people can accomplish.
Exactly.
You know, because they believe in themselves, and I think it's really important.
Well, yeah, here goes another thing, and then we'll talk about KJFX again. With the inspirational stories are what intrigues me. That's what intrigues me. Okay, we had David Lyons on the phone. He's the producer of the Ultimate Body TV show. He's a guy that had MS at the age of 46 or 47, and
wow.
and they said that he probably wouldn't walk again. He wouldn't be able to function. And you know what he did? At the age of 50, he competed in his first bodybuilding show.
Proved him wrong.
Yeah.
I love it. I love stories like that.
And that is amazing. That's why he created the Ultimate Body TV show, and that's why he's doing that. And he's trying to send a message out to the world, and I commend him for that. You know, you're familiar with Rich Gaspari, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's one of the judges, and Bob Cicciarello, and he has a few other guys. Marcia Prince is on there too. So it's just an interesting story. That's why I bring it up, because you were going on the road of inspirational stories, and that is, you know, you're in line with that, because everybody goes through their stuff, their challenges. You went through your challenges. You had your hurdles. You had your adversity, whatever it may be. Okay, it can be a disease. It can be personal stuff. It can be finance. It can be, you know, losing family members, so on and so forth. A bad relationship, whatever it may be. These are hurdles. You get through it. That shows the character of the person. Too many people give up easily, and I'm happy to hear that you're looking to write a book. I want you to write a book. You send me an autographed copy, I want one. I
will. You know, and I know that there are a lot of stories, and a lot has been written about this subject, but I really don't think that people can read enough of it, because I think that there are a lot of people out there who need that.
Sure.
You know, they need to read things like that. They need to hear about it for themselves and really start to, incorporate that into their own lives.
No, without a doubt. People buy these self-help books and this and that. That's great. You're doing that, and a particular one that I'm not going to talk about, but it was on Oprah, and they had a big thing about it. The bottom line is, that's great. You're looking at something, people's theories and thoughts. You know, I can sit and I can write a book and talk about all my positive thoughts and all my positive messages. That's fine. I can tell somebody the mindset, everything else. But you know something? Let me hear an inspirational story. That will help guide me to where I want to be. Because to see somebody fight the fight and get through it, that's like, wow. And,
right.
And it's unfortunate that a lot of people, well, too many people, do not take those inspirational stories and do not use it to their advantage. And yeah, you go for it and you write that book, because I think people need to hear that message.
I think so too. And you know, it's one of my projects that I kind of hold near to my heart, but who knows? You know, like I said, it keeps taking on different shapes, and it's so personal that it's just no way ready, but it will be, and I can't wait for that day.
Yeah, you'll get it all done. I have no doubt in my mind that you will get it done. Now we're going to shift gears and go back to CFX. Okay.
Alrighty.
Now you have the event going. Happening on this Saturday, September 12th at 6:30 at the Mansfield Sportsplex. See, I remembered that. Because
that's great, Mayhem in Mansfield.
Yeah, check me out. And the locals call it the Mplex.
Yes.
See, I'm not a local, so I call it the Mansfield Sportsplex. If I was a New Englander, maybe I would call it something else. But that's what I do. I don't know. That's what I do. But
you're doing okay.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm hanging in there. All right. So why don't you tell us about the card and what's going on?
Well, you know, one of the biggest fights of the night that I'm personally really excited about is the Rick Hahn Brandon Weaver fight.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Hahn is another one of my favorite fighters. He's an expert in judo. He's a background judo. I believe he was in the Olympics with that. If I'm correct, I think. But you know, watching him fight is always such a thrill, and he's also, I believe, undefeated. He's fighting Brandon Weaver, who is just like crazy with kicking and striking. So I think that this is a great match, and I honestly don't know how it's going to turn out. You know, I want to say it's going to be Rick, because again, he's one of my favorites, but anything could happen with this. And I think this is one, you know, a lot of times people before the fight will sort of say, we know who's got this, but I don't think anybody really knows with this one. So that's a very exciting fight.
Yeah, well,
that I'm pretty excited about.
Because you never know what's going to happen when you get in the cage. Anything can
Exactly.
happen. Anything. You know, it's just like football. Any given Sunday, any team can lose to any team. Any given fight, I don't care how much you're prepared, someone may be more prepared, you can lose, and that's the reality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a lot of people think, well, he's a favorite, he's going to win. You never know. You never know. So what are the other matches that are going on?
We have Sean Galano and Artie Mullen. Sean, I've been dying to see fight. I haven't seen him fight since about 3 ago. Probably another one that fought on April 25th I haven't seen fight. So we're all excited for him. I think, you know, when people hear that they're going to fight Sean Galano, they get a little scared. He's a big guy, really intimidating, and great at what he does. So that's another big fight that I'm excited about. We already talked about Lee Bean and Jason Doloff. I mean, that's going to be a highlight of the night.
Yes.
We also have another fighter, Mike Gresh, who I don't think he's fought in a year, so he's sort of coming out of a semi-retirement, but there's a lot of buzz around him, and again, I think he's gonna give his opponent a run for the money.
Okay.
We have Chris Bagg, who is another big guy, who has an opponent. His name is George, and that should be a pretty interesting one. I'm not sure what's going to happen there, but I know a lot about Chris. I don't know a lot about George, but that should be interesting because Chris is tough. And I hope this guy, George, brings it because, you know, Chris might just smush him, honestly, is what I'm afraid of. And I don't want to say anything negative about another fighter, but I think Chris has this one. We'll see.
Well, you may be surprised. Who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows?
We'll see.
And what else do you have going on? Are there any, you know, beyond the fights, what happens before the fight? You know, the fight starts at 6:30. Anything happening before then for the fans? Just for the fans that are listening to the show.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's always a lot going on. We have vendors from, you know, they're selling either fight gear. We have food. I think Linda brought in a cart with cannolis and desserts one time.
What, cannolis?
Can you imagine?
God,
we had a big stand that said cannolis, and I, of course, was dying for one the entire evening, but I really didn't think that, you know, walking around in my little short shorts that I should be eating cannolis and cookies. So
it wouldn't be a good look for you, not at all.
But believe me, I really wanted to, and at the end of the night, I was, you know, I promised myself I would get one, and then I just never got to it. We certainly have lots of things like that.
Okay.
We've had live music at our shows to entertain.
Okay.
Before the fights, a lot of times what I do and the other girls of the Extreme team, and I should mention them, Jamie Lynn and Caroline Dorr, we will be at the front, and as the fans walk in, we'll greet them. We'll be like, hey, welcome to the show. Welcome back. Good to see you again. Enjoy the fights. You know, we're there for them.
Right.
So we're getting them excited and really just welcoming them, making sure that they're going to have a good night. So there's plenty of stuff that goes on at our last show, which was an outdoor event. We had fireworks.
Mm-hmm. Fireworks, really?
It was a full-on fireworks display, like
cool.
the 4th of July. It was pretty incredible.
Pyro, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. That's good
and that's kind of like what I like about our organization is we do think out of the box. We try to do things that you wouldn't necessarily see at a show because we want everybody to be entertained. You know, everybody's there for the fights, but you know, when they're not going on, what else is happening? You know, what else is there? So, you know, we've definitely experimented with a lot of different forms of entertainment, and I think people really respond well to that.
Oh, no, without a doubt. You give the fans something that is going to entertain them and it's going to keep them interested. They're going to keep coming back. And what you guys are doing, as I said, the matriarch is and if you guys better call it that, but the matriarch is doing the right thing here and giving the fans what they want, entertainment. And that's what it comes down to, entertainment.
Absolutely.
You know, like you see in the Rocky movie when Apollo Creed came down with all the music and everything, all the hoopla and everything else, it was entertaining for the people just in the movie, but it was entertaining to see, even if it was on the movie, but to do stuff like that and to see it is pretty cool.
It's cool, it's larger than life sometimes,
Yeah.
and even with us, the Extreme Team girls, when we're up there and we're with the cards, it's, kind of, we're genuine, but it's like a role that we're playing, we're trying to entertain. For instance, a lot of times when you see a girl holding a ring card, she's just walking around the cage. And for me, when I first did that, Linda didn't tell us what what she didn't want. She told us what she did want us to do, but she didn't tell me what I couldn't do. So,
Right.
I got up my first time and I had the card, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to get kind of bored just holding this card. So I did a little spins, I did a little hip action, and the crowd really responded to it. So even with little things like that, like, it's all about the entertainment value.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what can, I'm up here in front of all of the fans. What can I do to really get them motivated and excited about the fight?
Mm-hmm.
So we're on all levels thinking entertainment as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, the sidebar, though, really, to the fight themselves, because we have such great fighters and the fights are so intense,
Right.
So it's getting all of that to work together, I think, is what is key for us. Yes, we have the entertainment, but we have the quality fights as well.
Well, at the end of the day, it comes down to what is in the ring, and you guys have some of the top fighters in New England there. And as I told the matriarch when I had her on the phone, that I don't think you guys are going to be regionally based for much longer. But you guys will do what you need to do as you move forward. I think this Saturday is going to be an awesome event. Just so you know, I'm not going to be there on Saturday, but I will be at your next event. Haha.
Oh, November 14th? Wonderful.
Yeah, I will be there, and it should be interesting, and it should be very interesting. But no, I'm not
Great,
going.
you can come into the cage with me, and I'll practice my Muay Thai skills then.
There you go. I got some skills. I got some skills myself, but I'm not going to get in there with you because you can hit low. Okay.
Come on, Lou, I need a lot of practice,
Yeah.
trust me.
Oh yeah, and you know something. Now that you know that I have an ankle injury, I know what you're going to do. And
I know exactly where I'm going to strike first.
Yeah, and that's not good because that'll hurt. That's not nice.
Oh, come
God.
on. I train with the fighters. I need to have an unfair advantage. Do you know how difficult that is?
Yeah, I know with these guys, but this is what they do for a living. Well, they don't do this for a living. They do it because they love it.
They do. They're incredible. They inspire me so much.
Yeah. These guys have regular
jobs. For me to go in there and try to learn what they're learning, it's just, to me it's so crazy because it doesn't come naturally to me. So.
Yeah, but you're working on it. Something, and I pat you on the back for that as well because you're trying to learn something new. Okay, and
exactly.
And that is, you have a competitive spirit, and that's fantastic. That's the American way, to go and fight and learn and build, and that's exactly what you're doing. You want to write a book, you want to run a marathon. God bless you. You'll get it done. You're helping KGFX, CFX entertain the crowd, and you're bringing you have the same way the fighters have a fan base. You have a fan base. And that is
I'm
fantastic.
getting one. It's fun. It's fun. People recognize me and they call me by my name at the show.
Yeah, and make sure on Saturday that they introduce her as a matriarch. I want to see this video. I do. I want to see the video. I have to see this now. Okay, because
how does Linda feel about this title? Have you explained to her that you've named her that?
No, I told her that, and I really didn't ask her what she thought because I really don't care. You
don't care, do you?
No, because something. She's humble. Okay, and she'll sit there, and she's the type of a woman that'll go out there and sweep the floor after the event and not think about. Not be one of these promoters that put themselves at a higher level. Say, well, I'm not going to do that. Let the ring boy do it, or whatever the case may be. She's out there in the trenches.
She's hands-on in all aspects of the business.
And that is what makes her really good at what she does, because she rolls up her sleeves. She's not afraid to get dirty. She's not on a pedestal. She's down there. Actually, she does something which is interesting at an event. I guarantee you, and I didn't even ask her this, but I know just from talking to her, that the fans, the fighters, the vendors, the sponsors, the Extreme girls, everyone is there, right? But the most important person there is her. You want to know why? Because she's there to serve everyone, and that's what she does. And it's not.
She is.
And
she's the glue that holds everything together.
Yeah, and that's it. And
it's amazing to watch. It's amazing to watch her the day of the event. You know, you see her with her phone. It doesn't stop ringing, and there are people coming up to her asking her questions, and the way that she handles it, it's just truly remarkable, because for one person to be handling that amount of data and that amount of people with all those questions, making it all run, it's a phenomenal feat.
Wow.
And she just takes it on and she rocks it. You know?
Well, you know,
that's the best way I can describe it. She rocks it.
Yeah, but she does a great job. The thing that amazes me is that your local papers, your Boston Globe and all that stuff, have not picked up on the story. I think that is ridiculous, because...
I find that fascinating, too, because...
Yeah. Well, I don't find it fascinating. I find it retarded, because you have a local. You have a local that is doing something that no one's doing in the United States. You know, guys, you know, wake up. You have a story and a half. They have a story and a half. These journalists in the New England area, if you're listening to the show, you have a story and a half. Go with it.
I think they'll pick up on it. I think they will. It might take them a little time. I don't know why it's a little bit slow. I mean, it's definitely been slow in people kind of coming to Linda and really wanting to interview her and write about it. And I don't know why that is. I can tell you that I know that mixed martial arts is a very male-dominated industry, and
but she doesn't.
It could be that they just don't expect much from a woman. But let me tell you, Linda is blowing them all out of the water. All of these men promoters, you know, not just in New England. Like Linda is doing it, and I think that's fantastic. You know, it's inspirational.
Well, let me ask you a question. You know, she doesn't have like some big zit on her face or something, right? Yeah, because
absolutely not.
Okay, so then I mean, because I would think that maybe that's scaring people away. I don't know, but
as a matter of fact, she's gorgeous. The woman is not only like amazing at what she does. And I know you've seen pictures. You've interviewed Linda. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman.
Yeah, she's definitely the goods, and I think, as I said, I think that it's just a matter of time, as you said, that everyone's going to pick up on it. I'm just amazed that they haven't already. 1 show, 2 shows, I understand. This is your 5th show, 6th show. I mean, what are they waiting for?
I don't know, Lou. I don't know, but
well, you know what? We had her on, and that's all I can say. We had the matriarch of mixed martial arts, Linda Shields, on this show, and we got you. We had Lee Bean, who's going to be the next CFX champion. I'm calling it now.
You're right.
Okay,
you're right.
we got Linda Rose, the Extreme Team Girls leader. We got the trifecta here on UCW Radio, and I love it. I love it.
You're very lucky, Lou.
Yeah, I am. I'm very lucky. You know, but I know I'm not going to be so lucky come November, right? I know.
I don't know. I'm going to sneak up on you.
Yeah. Do I need a bodyguard? Because I may have to bring one. I don't know.
You might. I might. There are a lot of big guys there, though. You might be able to recruit one.
Okay. I may have to do that. All right, Linda, listen, we went over a lot of things. You have the event coming up Saturday. Can you just let our listeners know, give them information as far as the website, as far as your website, the Extreme Team Girls website, and how they can get in touch with you guys, how they can, you know, maybe get an autograph from you, because I know you have fans out there that probably want autographs. So there are a lot of things there. So can you give that information so our listeners can reach out to CFX and the Extreme Team Girls and the fighters and the whole 9 yards?
Absolutely. Our website is cagefx.com, and that has all of the information about our next fight, which is this Saturday, the 12th, in Mansfield, Massachusetts. So again, that's cagefx.com. You can contact through that website. That actually goes to the administrators, but if it's a message for us, that would get filtered down to myself, Caroline, or Jamie. And if you want an autograph, you can also go there and request one. I have my own fan page on MySpace, so you can find me on MySpace/Linda Rose Fitness. That's my address.
Okay.
And I always love to have new friends on there and to chat with and to see what I'm doing.
Okay, cool.
So there it is.
All right, cool. All right, we have a lot of information, and the event on Saturday, the September 12th, starts at 6:30. The Mansfield Sportsplex, or the Mplex for the locals.
The Mplex.
And do you have a number for them that if I guess if listeners wanted to call, they wanted to go there, how do they get the tickets?
You can get the tickets right from our website. If you go onto cagefx.com, there's a link right there on the front page to buy tickets.
Okay.
You can also email Linda at cagefx.com. And that's another way to communicate with us. But I would go to the website first for tickets because that's the main way to purchase them.
Yeah, I think the matriarch right now is a little bit busy to take an email.
She's very busy. Please go to the website.
Yeah, go to the website, do it
Sorry,
there. Or you can get in touch with the fighters if you know them, and they probably have tickets.
Fighters have tickets as well that they sell on their own too.
And yeah, they can go. You can go do that. But go to cagefx.com, guys. And if you're in the New England area, if you love mixed martial arts, go to the event, Mansfield Sportsplex, and that's starts at 6:30. Get there early. Meet the Extreme Team girls. They'll be out front. Meet Linda Rose. Bother her,
Absolutely.
please.
I can't
bother
wait to meet
her.
everybody.
Bother, but don't get too close because she will mess you up.
Yeah, I got a pretty strong right hook right now, people.
Yeah, so watch out. But definitely follow these fighters. You have some great local talent, and the beauty of Cage FX, they're not flying people in, guys. You have local talent that is there. Support your local fighters. They need your support. You guys had an event. You packed 7,500 people, actually close to 8,000 people in a venue.
Yeah, just about.
That's amazing. That's like WWE style. That's what
Isn't
you
that
guys
amazing?
did. You got the people in there, and now you're growing. You're getting things done. Linda, thank you so much for being with us on the UCW radio show tonight. It's been great, inspirational. I love your story. This just shows there's more to the Extreme Team girls than meets the eye, especially with Linda Rose. But guys, definitely go to MySpace. There's Linda Rose Fitness. Check her out. Follow her. She's the goods. Linda, again, thank you again. And I want to have you back on the show down the road so we can talk more about your fighting skills, if you don't mind.
Oh, I'd love to. You'll laugh a lot when I tell you my stories about fighting, trust me.
Well, I'll do it over the phone because that's where we're going. Now, actually, I figure by November, maybe we'll do it face to face. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I may have to chain you up to the chair so you don't try anything funny, okay?
So I don't kick you?
Yeah, exactly. There you go. All right, Linda, thank you so much. Again, CageFX.com. Buy your tickets. Mansfield Sportsplex in Massachusetts. Go for it. CageFX is going to be a great show on Saturday.
Right, I'm going to cut you off, Lou, and I'm going to give you one phone number for this.
Oh, give the number. That's what we want.
Okay, here's the number. Ready?
Go.
It's the Mansfield, Mplex, 31 Oxford Road, Mansfield, Mass. And for ticket info, go to 781-510-6000.
Okay, that's 781. So 781
510 6,000.
6,000. Actually, I thought I was going to remember that, but that's why it has to be repeated a couple times because just like me, people have brain farts, and that's what happens.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those. All right, Linda. Again, thank you again, and we want to hear what's going to happen on the show on Saturday, and we're going to have the matriarch back on at some point in the near future. Have you back on, and hopefully, the next time I speak to Lee, it'll be having the Cage FX, the CFX heavyweight champion, on the UCW radio show. And that's about it.
So.
Yeah, I think it's going to be there. That's about it. That's about it for this segment of UCW Radio. Again, CageFX.com. Buy your tickets. Get there. It's going to be a great show.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.